and it was a attorney from Manhattan and his wife, Eddie Albert and Ava Gabor. And they pulled themselves up by the roots in Manhattan and traveled to Hooterville, which of course is an imaginary town. And they put themselves in a farm situation. So that's the analogy here for my speech, okay? All right, everybody, would you please close your eyes? Close your eyes. Okay, I want you to think back to elementary school. Picture yourself in 3rd grade. Did a life-changing event happen to you that year? Well, it did to me. You can open your eyes now. A major event happened in my experience. My mom and dad purchased a half interest in a dairy farm with a relative. And that took us from Tinsel town in Beverly Hills to Arlington, California, and Green Acres. Wow, 25 acres and room to roam. Oh, dirt under my fingernails, manure on my shoes, and maybe even between my toes. No mani-pedi for me. Okay. And you know what? What even made it great was I could have my own horse. Well, this was a difficult situation because without my realizing it, within the passage of time, we went from having a great dairy farm and having a half interest to bankruptcy because the partnership dissolved. I didn't realize this was happening, so it was a little difficult for me. Everybody said, well, so what? Just declare bankruptcy. My mom replied, never. You see, this was a matriarchal family, and for Mom, and therefore for us, the only option was to leave in the black. Therefore, my mom, dad, and this 9-year-old milked 100 head of big uddered Holsteins at 2 a.m. in the morning and 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, that's daily. That's 365 days a year. I hope you all realize that cows don't know anything about weekends, and they certainly don't take vacations. The work was stiff, and sometimes it was exhausting. There was no shortage of dirt under my fingernails, and certainly no shortage of manure on my boots. And I absolutely loved it. But the bittersweet thing that happened and came along was my grandmother. My mother's mother, Grandma Fator, joined us on Green Acres. Well, it was great for Mom and Dad because she kept the house and did the cooking and left the running of the dairy to us. However, it was bitter for me because of the fact that grandmother, whatever she said, was absolutely right. No discussion, and there was absolutely no backtalk. Well, Grandma, think again. This young whippersnapper, who was many times too big for her britches, made Green Acres ring with the sound of our confrontation. This wasn't the only thing that was bitter that happened, unfortunately. Well, I not only had one horse, I had two. A beautiful Morgan mare named Honey, and a lovely black and white pinto, whom we named Comet. Now, Honey's disposition didn't fit her name at all. And Comet learned to give her a wide berth. Well, they were generally corralled in the same place every day, and there was no problem. But this Christmas Eve, it didn't work. After we'd opened our presents on Christmas morning, I went out to give the horses their treat. Okay, always did that on Christmas Day. Come on, Honey. Come on, Comet. Let's go. Come on. Only Honey responded. Well, where's Comet, girl? Come on, Comet. Where are you, guy? No response. Well, I gave Honey her carrots, and I opened the corral gate, walked inside, and I gasped. There lay my beautiful Comet in a pool of blood with a shard of wooden fence protruding from his chest. Well, this wasn't a very happy Christmas day. It was very bitter. So the sweetness of Green Acres was sort of overshadowed. Well, we pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps because everybody knows life must go on. And by my 8th grade year, we were in the black. So Mom sold Green Acres, and we made the trek back to Tinseltown and Beverly Hills, and I went back to Berkeley Hall School. Well, let's fast forward a few years. A marriage, 3 children, boys. Okay, and decades later, boy, the sweetness of Green Acres was really calling us again. So, like a lot of Southern Californians, we made the trek from Southern California to the high desert and the biggest little city. Presently, our Green Acres is a gambrel-style barn house set on 5 acres of hillside property. Is there dirt under my fingernails and manure on my boots? Absolutely, and I love it. It's wonderful. But Green Acres requires that I remember that things can get bitter. Like our pet goose being slaughtered by a hungry raccoon, and our baby chicks senselessly beheaded by a bloodthirsty ferret. But you know what? When I close my eyes and I think back over my experience, I'm certainly glad to take the sweet with the bitter in my travels from Tinseltown to Green Acres.